And joining me now, General Michael Hayden, former director of the CIA, former director of the NSA. General, let me just start with this issue, as Jim and I were talking about. You've got up to 300 military advisors, right. Some of them going to be on the ground any moment. Obviously, there's this whole issue of whether that's boots on the ground or not. Is it a distinction without a difference? But the question is this. You've got ISIS, if what we know here is true. ISIS is taking over huge swaths of the entire country. How are 300 people going to stop it?
Well, they're not. The first thing they have to do, and the president's spot on, I think, you need to get an assessment of the situation, Erin. It's just not an assessment of the enemy. It's just not an assessment of ISIS. It's an assessment of the Iraqi government and the Iraqi armed forces. Are they going to live up to that description that the president laid down? Unified national government. And frankly, there were times when I was in government, we thought the Iraqis were 0 for 3 on those attributes, and frankly, I think they still are. And if they still are, then what will this president have to do? I mean, he has said, and I'll just play it so our viewers can hear it, that dealing with this ISIL, as he called it, is in the essential national interest of the United States. Here he is.
We also have an interest in making sure that we don't have a safe haven that continues to grow for ISIL and other extremist jihadist groups who could use that as a base of operations for planning and targeting ourselves, our personnel overseas, and eventually the homeland.
So if he's right, and Iraqi troops could be 0 for 3 on what they need to fight, how then does the U.S. avoid a larger entanglement in Iraq?
Right. Well, look, the best way to prevent a terrorist safe haven is to have a healthy Iraqi government. And frankly, your reporter, Jim, said that the president is kind of skeptical about that, and frankly, I am too. This is not my wish, Erin. It's certainly not the plan, but I can see Iraq permanently fracturing into 3 parts. Kurdistan, what I'll call a Sunnistan, that ISIL parastate, and the remnants of the current Iraq, which is essentially a Shiistan. That's not good, but we're kind of on our way there.
But, General, here's what a lot of people watching may say. Look, at this point, why does America need to care? Why does America need to put lives at risk to prevent Iraq from breaking up into 3, which is something that people have been writing about for 15 or 20 years?
Because one of those 3 parts, Erin, is going to be a safe haven for the most violent terrorist movement alive today. And I think it will be only a matter of time before that Sunnistan, which has melded the border between Iraq and Syria, so it's the territory of both countries now, before that Sunnistan represents the kind of threat to the West and to the United States that we saw in Afghanistan pre-9/11.
So does the president, in your view then, if troops are needed, boots on the ground, we're not putting them in, but we kind of are. I mean, real boots on the ground. If that's necessary, he should do it?
No, I think what he's doing right now is absolutely spot on, as I said. We're assessing the situation. Look, we cannot reunify Iraq. That can't be done. It has to be done by the Iraqis, and as I suggested, it's not a high probability shot. If that fails, Erin, then we have to consult our own interest. How do we deal with that Sunni fanatic state that's going to exist in western Iraq and eastern Syria? And there we might have to act on our own. Let me be slightly over dramatic here, Erin.
Yeah.
We may have to treat that Sunnistan the way we've been forced to treat Waziristan over the past 10 years or so.
With drone attacks and essentially the war on terror there.